Woo! Good morning, good morning. We survived the eclipse. I had to edit our eclipse show from yesterday because it was blocked in certain territories. It didn't tell me what territories, so I had to do some fancy editing. Well, truth is, YouTube did all the editing, but still, what a way to start my Taco Tuesday. I see we have some new friends in here and some friends we haven't seen in a while. I totally understand, considering what we talk about on this channel. It's always good to take a couple of days and say, I'm just going to watch something happy. But we miss you either way. I see Mike M is back. Hello, Elizabeth. Jude's in. Wisdom Speaks. Good morning. Slim Shady. Already talked to her this morning. Angela, Avie. And we have a very special guest in here. Very special. Now, if you see at the top, I pinned the link. Tomorrow, we're actually going to tinker with a call-in show. Some people say that they don't like to grab the link because they're afraid they're going to be on camera. They don't want to show their face backstage, which I don't make anyone show their face backstage. That's just how it goes. So who's going to call in tomorrow for me to try it? Or would anyone like to try it today just to see how it works? Totally up to you. I vote Chloe because I see her name right there. So you all tell me. But in the meantime, like I said, we have a very special guest in here today. The one and only JTB. You hear me every day saying JTB in the house. Today is her birthday. Some people call her the Snake Lady. Some people call her the coolest cat in Kansas City. I call her friend. Happy, happy birthday to you, JTB. Happy birthday to you, my friend. So happy to know you. So proud to know you. Like I said, some people call her the Snake Lady. That's for a different show. That's on her channel. If anybody wants to drop JTB's YouTube in here, that would be much help. So what'd you all think of the eclipse yesterday? Was it a dud or did it blow you away? Some people said, I didn't see anything. It was too cloudy. Well, we watched it, but I have a shitty camera, so it just looked like a cloudy sky. But Pat was telling me, she said it was actually spooky. It was actually kind of spooky watching it. But either way, we had fun. Well, today's show is a tough show for many reasons. The case of Madeline Soto drives me insane. For one, there's no murder charges yet. And I know the normal story, the normal explanation. It's like, well, you know, they know he's not going anywhere, so they have plenty of time. They don't want to start the clock. I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. You know, he's got court coming up. Oh, Mr. Disney in a few weeks. The question is, will Jen Soto ever be charged and prosecuted? She tends to know more. The police themselves put out a statement saying what she reported to them is different than what they know. Not what they think, but what they know. She gave a totally false representation of what she saw that morning. She said she saw Madeline alive, even described what she had on. Not possible. Because as we know, Madeline was dead that morning. Sick of these women taking up for the pogo stick and not their own kids. I agree. Sorry, my allergies are kicking my ass again today. I agree with Peach State Mama. She said if nothing else, she should be charged with that. False info to the police is more than just hindering an investigation in this case, because she's talking about her own daughter. Her own daughter. The 911 calls came out. Jen Soto said that she called at 8 o'clock that night. There's 3 calls, and not one of them is Jen Soto. We're going to go through that and other things. First, let's welcome everyone, Baptist style. Say, glad you're here, glad you're back. Welcome to the channel. You're going to like it here. Again, the link is pinned. If you do want to try the call-in today, we only have a few of us in here today. Fine by me. Anybody wants to try it out, let me know. And I will drop the Google phone number. Just don't tell Google I did it personal, so it would be free, as opposed to the business line, because then that's $10 a month. But we're just not going to tell them. Well, they probably already know. They seem to be in my brain. I was talking to my husband about his headphones that he uses for work. I go to log in to Amazon to check on a package, and what did it suggest to me? Headphones. I can't get away with anything. All right, let's go to the comments, and then I will drop the phone number, just see how it works. Annie Rundown, one of our good friends, says, Brooks, at the beginning of the conference, talking about the press conference, this is from the last show, she said, I thought it was more of the same. But yes, as I heard the lady say those and a lot of other things, my brain lit up. How disgusting can a mother be to have all the proof of what was done to her daughter and still defend this monster? It speaks volumes and tells me that she knew. As a mom, I will turn the world upside down, go to hell and back to find my child and get justice. I can't agree more. Joan Stackley had a great point. She said, with this evil monster in jail, the mom should feel safe and be able to speak up. Think about that. If what some of the headpetters said, oh, she's a battered woman. She's a battered woman. She didn't know what to do. He could have turned on her. You know how people talk. He's in the pokey. He's not getting out. He's in jail. What's the harm in cooperating now? The hell is going on here? AP PRB646 said that was a monster doing this. And then there are parents who just don't care. She went on to say, no matter how busy a parent's life is, there has to be an eye-opener at some point. I agree. She blindsided herself on purpose. Back to the hear no evil, see no evil. Doing the laundry totally ignores things that shouldn't be on a little girl's sheets. Ignoring her walking in pain because, yeah, she had to have been. She had to have been. Diane said, what if Maddie was trying to run away from home and they caught her and something happened? Well, you know what? You might be barking up the right tree, because this is what came out a few days ago. The medical examiner's office said they cannot release the cause of death of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. The District 9 medical examiner's office said her autopsy can't be released because she's a minor whose death was related to an act of domestic violence and is therefore confidential and exempt from release. Some people were upset about this. You know, they want the dirty, dirty, dirty deets. What happened to her? What happened to her? Was she strangled? Was she AR'd? Oh my God, what happened? I gotta know. Listen, there's a lot of sickos out there, and it will come out because there's going to be a trial. And I'm actually glad that Florida protects these children even in death, because we have seen what happened in other cases. I mean, look at what happened with Gannon Stout. They had his autopsy photos in a Patreon. They were making fun of his private parts. There are sickos out there that enjoy this stuff a little too much. I don't mean people that are concerned about society, but domestic violence is someone in the family. David Thomas, a professor of forensic studies at Florida Gulf Coast University, said this is standard for victims in cases like this one. He said, I would say before the Gainesville student murders, they just about released anything. And then after that, the media went crazy. It was a media frenzy to get the pictures, Thomas said. So they created laws to protect that so the information could not be released. He said it's just a normal course of business here in order to protect victims. I'm okay not knowing right now what happened to her. I don't even want to guess, because we know that in life, horrific things happen to her, and it will come out. It will come out. We already know at this point what Mr. Disney is charged with. Here's just a quick reminder.
Suspect in the Maddie Soto case, Stephen Stearns, is now facing 60 new charges. Court documents show his alleged crimes go all the way back to June of 2019. The charges include 13 counts of sexual battery on a child, 7 counts of molestation, and 40 counts of unlawful possession of material depicting sexual performance of a child. Investigators say the images were found on his phone during the search for Maddie. So far, no murder charges have been filed in this case. We're going to get to more on that in a second. Stearns expected in court next month. And former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolone, our good friend, joins us live this morning to talk about this. Good morning, Orlando. Good to see you.
Good morning, Ryan.
Let's start with just the reaction to these charges. I mean, they're hard to even read, and you think this is the third.
I've read some probable cause affidavits, arrest affidavits in my day, as like all of you. This one had a totally different cringe reflex to it. It wasn't a quick read, let me put it that way. Horrific. Now we go back to when They, at this time, the investigation's still going, when they know the essay started. Back to the question, I'm going to keep beating that dead horse I've asked over and over and over and over in this case. How did Jen Soto not know? How did she ignore the symptoms? Not even emotional, not even mental, physical. How did she not pick up on something? She's talking about her daughter. Her daughter. Jen is a woman. She understands her own anatomy, especially waist down. Imagine the terror. Domestic violence doesn't cover it. Imagine the terror Madeline went through day after day after day after day, knowing what was going to happen to her. And nobody was going to step in to help her. It makes me wonder, she was so close with her grandma. Did she never say anything to her grandmother? She's very close with her aunt. Did she never express anything to her aunt about Stefan? I think about what her grandmother said. Stefan always gave her the attention she wanted. That is not the attention she wanted.
13-year-old, what's your reaction?
Well, it goes to show that this is a very active investigation, and they're looking into everything that they can to ensure that this individual is held accountable for his actions.
One thing that stood out to me in reading these charges were charges under 12. Maddie just turned 13. That means this was at least going on for a year. I mean, that's one of the societal concerns, is this is a girl that was trapped seemingly without help.
And it's a very sad situation, and also shed some light into how far back they're looking into his activity around her and anyone else who may have been present at the time.
Now, there are a lot of charges. One thing we do not see is murder.
That's a boom statement. We're going to listen to that again. Because like his guest said, and anyone else that may be present at the time. Well, they're not talking about the puppy dogs, Coda and Sailor. They're talking about Jen Soto. Listen to that again. He's so right.
And it's a very sad situation, and also shed some light into how far back they're looking into his activity around her and anyone else who may have been present at the time.
Now, there are a lot of charges. One thing we do not see is murder. You've dealt with law enforcement a lot. You know there's a process going through that. So are you surprised he's not charged with murder yet? What might they be waiting for to bring that charge?
Well, it's one thing to have probable cause, but it's one thing to have overwhelming evidence that would hold an individual to be charged or found guilty of an offense. So I think the state attorney and the lead agency in this case are making sure that they check everything and anything that may be questioned during their process before they decide whether any additional charges will be made or not.
Is this a case we saw where Orange County's already changed what they do? Certainly law enforcement looks at these and they try and think, how can we help prevent this from another kid to happen in the future? When you look at what work investigators still have to do, how much of that goes into it when you try and prevent this as best you can from happening again?
Every time you hear of an unfortunate or tragedy that occurs anywhere in the nation, there's always a change. A positive change comes from it, from lessons learned. And this is an example that, unfortunately, from the loss of this little girl, now we have something that is being put in place that I'm sure will be applied throughout the state, if not many states in our country, that will help others, hopefully prevent others from being harmed if some notifications are made early.
Yeah, because as Amy said earlier, it wasn't going to change the outcome in this case, but it might.
I do wonder, and of course I want your opinion on this, was Madeline his sole victim? Because I can't trust the friends that have been calling in to Gray Hughes and T-Rev's channel. I just can't. They're scumbags. They're just damn scumbags. But I do wonder, Is Madeline the sole victim, or are there others? What do you all think?
Just in the second case and in the next case, and that makes a big difference.
Correct.
Anything else we should watch for as this moves forward, Chief?
I think give time to the lead agency and the state attorney to come up with their findings, and eventually I'm sure they'll do an update on what's going on. But right now it appears that this is a very, very active investigation, and it'll take some time before it's solved.
Finally, when you look at anyone connected with him, how long might that take? Maybe it will turn out he acted on his own. If anyone else knew, might they be charged also?
Absolutely. If there's anything that may lead to someone else being involved, rest assured that the law enforcement agency and the state attorney's office will explore all of those options, and they will bring those individuals to justice.
And it seems to me, just from my bird's eye view, that's what they are looking at. Very important pronouns were used in the press conference. Those responsible, bring those to justice. Not just Mr. Disney. Fairy Dust says there are others. True Crime Beat said, I think there are others. Miss Dakota said, no, there's no way he started with Madeline. I have to agree with you guys. Because talk about the gall to do this right under Jen Soto's nose, right under her roof. Pictures, videos, the whole 9 yards. There's some real sketchy text messages going around. Hang on, what did Christina say? Fairy Dust said this isn't the first time at this rodeo. He did something to warm up, for sure. And I think before the accidental factory reset, I think those pictures were passed around. And I hope they never, ever, ever get out. Okay, let's listen to the 911 calls. I'm going to go straight through it, then we're going to break it down. Again, the link is pinned. Don't be shy. Come on up. Teresa said, where there is one, there is more. Yes. Particularly, now, by the way, there's no nice essay. There's no nice way to do it. But the gravity and depravity of what he did to Madeline, off the bat, he had some warm-up victims. And I'm with Mary Glick, who took the videos and pictures. The descriptions in the probable cause affidavit, you'd have to be a damn octopus to get those angles.
911, what is the location of the emergency? Okay, what's going on at Vinny? Please fire medical.
No, it's not a medical issue. We have a missing child since this morning. We already called 3 times. And the police didn't show up yet.
Are you listening? Or
Yes.
do you know? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am, I see it right here for you. Yes, ma'am, I see it. Just waiting for a deputy to respond.
They haven't come here yet.
I'm worried, ma'am. I see it. It's waiting for a deputy to respond.
You're waiting for a deputy to respond?
Yes, ma'am.
And how long more do we need to wait? It's a child missing.
I understand that, ma'am, but I'm just not able to give out ETA. I don't know when they'll be there.
So how long do we need to wait? This
Ma'am,
is an emergency.
Ma'am, we have the information, but they're trying to get to someone as soon as possible.
So this is not important for you guys? Really?
Ma'am, we're very busy in the area. Look, I understand they'll be there as soon as they can, okay?
Okay. From what I'm reading, that first phone call is grandma. Now, After this, I'm going to take you back to the Jen Soto interview where she said she called at 8 p.m. I want to listen to it again because she might have said we called. Well, there's no we on the damn phone. It takes one person to dial 911. So that is Grandma. Now, what's very odd is when Grandma is talking, giving interviews, she claims to not know English. I understood every friggin' word of that call. And I am not bilingual.
911, what is the location of your emergency?
Okay, police or medical?
Hi, I called not that long ago reporting a missing child. I just wanted to know how long the cops are going to take to get here.
Okay, hold on, let me open up the call and let's see. The call is still currently pending to have the deputies respond out there, but we don't have any available deputies. We still have the call up though, holding.
Okay, so no one's on their way yet?
Not yet, no.
Does it take long for them to respond to the call?
If there's a big emergency in the area, and there's no units available, they put the calls on hold. But as soon as one becomes available, they respond to the next pressing call.
Okay, yeah, we just need one here urgently. So
I understand. We still have the call. We still have the call holding. It is.
Yes.
Yep, we still have the call holding for them. I'll go ahead and update them with the information.
All right, thank you, because this happened very recently, so we just want to get everyone here. She's been missing since 8 a.m., so we want to get everything done as soon as possible to try to find her.
I understand.
This is important. Thank you, Wimbles. So much for me playing it straight through and keeping my big mouth shut. The calls are backwards. Grandma called last. Aunt called one time, then another time, then Grandma called. The question is, why didn't Jen call? Why?
Okay. Thank you.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
It's
And is there a specific apartment number, ma'am?
it's
And do you need police, fire, or medical?
police possibly. I'm reporting a missing child.
Okay. And what is the name of the business there, ma'am?
The business?
Okay. And the child that you're trying to report missing, are you calling on behalf of the parent?
Now, this confuses me. Is Madeline's aunt calling from the grandma's office? Because they're asking about a business, but it does cut certain personal things out. Okay, so listen to this part.
Okay. And the child that you're trying to report missing, are you calling on behalf of the parent?
Yes, on behalf of the mother. She's missing.
Okay. Okay. And then and ma'am, how old is the child? And could I go ahead and get her name?
Yes, it's.
And is she white, black, or Hispanic?
She's white.
Okay.
Blonde
And
hair, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes.
Listen, why the aunt who is Hispanic? Jen Soto is Hispanic. Grandma is Hispanic. Why are they saying she's white? She's registered at school as Hispanic. I don't know why the aunt said that. And no, I don't think she's responsible. That's a biggie.
On behalf of the mother. She's missing.
okay. Okay. And then and ma'am, how old is the child? And could I go ahead and get her name?
Yes, it's.
And is she white, black, or Hispanic?
She's white.
Okay.
Blonde
And
hair, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes.
okay, hold on with me here. And then what color shirt and pants was she last seen wearing?
Hold on, let me ask. Then, what color shirt and like what was she last wearing? Hold on, we're finding out.
Okay, and then how long has it been though since you guys have last seen her?
Since this morning, she was dropped off at school this morning, and apparently she never showed up. We called everyone we knew, no one's seen her.
Okay. And then, so, ma'am, I just want to confirm, though, was she last seen from this address? Is this where you guys last saw her?
No. She was last seen at the church next to Hunters Creek Middle School. I think it's called Peace Church. I'm not sure of the exact address. She was wearing a dark green hoodie, I believe.
What is the name of the church?
I think it's. I'm pretty sure it's called Peace Church. It's the one right next to Hunters Creek Middle School. It's the. Well, no.
Got it. It's across the street from it?
I believe so. Yeah. There's two. I just forgot about the other one. It's not Focal Point Church. It's.
Well, is it Peace United Methodist Church?
Yes.
Okay.
That one.
Okay. Is she diagnosed with any medical, mental conditions at all?
I know she takes medication for ADHD, and I'm pretty sure that's it.
Okay. Sorry, bear with me here. And is she known to carry anything on her person, like a pocket knife, pepper spray, anything at all like that?
Not to compare cases because the cases, in my opinion, aren't comparable. But we have two, off the top of my head, children that were recently diagnosed with either ADHD or autism, totally different, I know, have a big day with the fam and disappear. Sebastian was diagnosed with autism in August. He's gone. Madeline was diagnosed with ADHD in August. She's gone. She's murdered.
Okay.
No, nothing like that.
Does she have a cell phone that she might keep on her person?
She doesn't. She had one when she left at home conveniently today.
Okay.
Right there. Okay.
And ma'am, what is your name?
My name is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And just so we recognize you when we arrive there, though, at the advance to come meet with you guys, are you, ma'am, white, black, Indian, Asian, or Hispanic?
I'm Hispanic.
And what color shirt and pants will you be wearing?
Pants, dark wash jeans. I have a green cardigan on and a white shirt.
Thank you. And I just need to verbally confirm as all. Do you have any at all weapons on your person?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. And are you going to be waiting for us inside?
Yeah. I'll come outside. I just see through glass. So I'll see when you guys show up.
Okay, perfect then. So then I'll get a call placed for service. We'll have deputies out there to come and make a report with you and to come and assist with trying to find your. Okay.
Okay. Her mother and they're going to the school to double check and everything, but from what we know, she wasn't there, so they should be back soon too, because it's right next to the school.
Yeah, that's fine. So if at least one of you remains there, though, to meet with an officer, that's more than fine, okay?
Yeah, I'll be here. I'll be here.
Okay then. All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. And I'll go ahead and let you go. We'll be out there as quickly as we can, okay?
Okay.
Question: why the hell, when Jen Soto supposedly got to the school, why didn't she call 911 then? She sends some half-ass email to a teacher and goes to her mom's office. Okay, I'll cut her some slack. You get to your mom's office and Madeline's not there. Call 911 right away. This is the aunt calling, Jen Soto's sister. She said, I'll be here. I'll meet you outside. But they're going to go back to the school and look around. No, Jen Soto needs to be there to meet the police. Aunt and grandma can go back to the school. Where's Mr. Disney? You don't call grandma. You don't send an email to the teacher. You call Mr. Disney. What time did you drop her off? Did she mention having anything to do after school? Did she say anything about hanging out with friends? Because she's not here. Let's go through what Jen Soto had to say. I know we've seen it many times, but it's just got a little different twinge to it now that I've heard the 911 calls.
So the first question is if I can have your first, your last name, and spell them both out for me.
Okay. Jennifer Soto, JENNIFER SOTO.
Mother. Jennifer, tell me how you feeling right now.
I feel like I can't breathe. All I keep thinking about is, where is she? Is she safe? Is she okay?
I feel like I can't breathe. This is such a tone we get from certain parents when they let little Freudian slips out. Letitia Stout said she felt like she'd been shot. Trial is done and over. We know she shot Gannon. Megan Boswell used the word smothered. We know now that little baby Evelyn was smothered. Candace Wells talking about the disappearance of Summer. She said, it smothers me. Now that's a very odd word from Candace Wells considering the way she uses the English language. Smothers. I feel like I can't breathe, is what Jen Soto said.
Okay. But we're all a wreck. My entire family is a mess. We're just so worried.
When did you first realize, or when did you file a missing report?
We filed a missing report. We called the police at like 4:45 yesterday, 4:45 p.m. But she actually went missing early that morning.
Two different stories from Jen Soto. She said, we filed the police report at 4:45 p.m. She also said she got to the school at 4:45 p.m. There's a lot of we's in these sentences. And then that she called at 8 p.m. I had to do the math with the military time.
Around between 8:45 and 9 o'clock in the morning, she went missing. We had dropped her off close to the school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. Sorry. That should be it. Sorry about that. We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way. I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
You share whatever you feel comfortable sharing. I know you had conversations with detectives. Not sure what that conversation is, but whichever you feel comfortable sharing, that will put the awareness out there.
Yeah, she was spotted walking by the church, by the middle school on the cameras. They saw her hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and then get up and leave. They didn't see a vehicle or anything else. They just saw her walk away.
As we know, this is not true. Not true. She was already not of this planet. No one saw her walking around. Did they see someone walking on camera, possibly dressed like Madeline? Maybe, but who would that be? Who would that be? This was not Madeline. There's no way it could be Madeline. Madeline was already dead.
Around 9 a.m., heading towards the school, but she never made it.
What has the school said? Have you given in contact with the school?
Yes, that they're doing everything they can. They've given me all their resources. The principals called me. They've looked at their cameras. I don't think they've caught anything on the cameras is too far away from the sidewalk. Everything is too grainy, so they can't see specific faces. But
then why are you trying to sell this snake oil to us saying it's her? Then you turn around and say, look at that face. Then you turn around and say, oh, it's too grainy. So they couldn't really make it out. No, no one told you they spotted her. No one.
But they've looked. I'm just waiting to hear anything else from them.
Is this normal behavior?
Not at all.
To just not show up or call or text or anything?
Not at all, no. She, from time to time, she will leave her cell phone at home accidentally, and that's actually what happened yesterday. She left her phone at home. She went to school. But that happens from time to time. She's got ADHD, her memory. She's very forgetful. So yeah, there's no way to track her right now because the detectives don't have her phone. But this isn't normal behavior now.
She said the detectives now have her phone. And we're back to bouncing. We're back to bouncing. Detectives having her phone should not be a big deal. But we're back to bouncing. We're back to bouncing. We know why the phone with the detectives back to bouncing is a big deal. Because we know what Mr. Disney had on his phone. Even after his accidental factory reset on the day that Madeline was murdered.
What was the last thing, I guess, the conversation that you two had, you and your daughter?
We spoke about her birthday party. She had a birthday party on Sunday. She had a great time. I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Yeah.
13.
She's 13 years old. Yes.
13. Madeline.
Madeline.
Madeline. What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her.
Odd. In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. That's exactly what Don Wells said to Jeff Bobo on June 18th of 2021. In my heart, I know someone took her. Something was welling up before that birthday party. We're not talking about reservations that they couldn't get out of. This was just done at a house. They could have had it anytime. So this whole I had to work. Hey, what are you, an ER surgeon? Did you get called in for open heart surgery? Have it on another day. Something was welling up in that apartment to where Jen purposely didn't go to Madeline's party. Could have had it any old day. Doesn't have to be on the day. And we're talking about the coming of age party. Talking about the turning 13 party. What would make you miss your child's birthday? I can't think of anything. I was late to a birthday party one time because the lady that was making the cake was a pain in my damn ass. And so I was late to my own child's birthday party, but I was there. I couldn't go because I had to work. He didn't ask you, but you told him. You told the reporter. You told the interviewer. I couldn't go because I had to work. Were you working on the day of her funeral as well, Jen Soto, because you missed it as well? He didn't ask what kind of ice cream you ate at the party. You volunteered that information. I couldn't go because I had to work.
I couldn't make it because I was working, but she had an amazing time. She was so happy with all her gifts. I told her good night, and yeah, that was it. I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Yeah.
13.
She's 13 years old. Yes.
13. Madeline.
Madeline.
Now listen, she trails off. I'm really not trying to pick it apart or pretend like I'm some sort of behavioral scientist, because I'm not. But it tells me a lot the way she trails off about the ride to school. That was my partner, and she trails off. Because she knows a very deceased Madeline Soto was put in his car. She said she had on shorts and an army green hoodie. She was found in jeans. This girl did not come home from her birthday party and change out of her little blue dress and put on a pair of blue jeans to go to sleep. Who put her in the jeans? Anyone get a sense that Jen Soto was very jealous of the extremely disgusting and depraved attention that Mr. Disney was giving Madeline? Sinclair said, am I the only one who thinks a 13th birthday is a big deal for a kid? Damn right. It's a huge deal. I mean, what birthday isn't? I'm sensing some jealousy vibes here. The way she trails off about school.
Told her good night, and yeah, that was it.
Okay, picking apart again. I told her good night, and that was it. What do you all tell your children before they go to sleep? Or before you hang up the phone with them? My children are grown men. I always say, I love you. I love you. Love you bunches. Proud of you. Love you. Have a good night. I love you. All right, didn't mean to bother you on your lunch hour. Have a good lunch. I love you. Told her good night, and that was it.
I was the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. Yeah.
13.
So she stops dead in her tracks right there. No pun intended. This is where we need the detail. That was my partner that took her to school, and she stops in her tracks and goes, but yeah. But yeah. That's it. Listen to how she says it. But yeah.
13.
She's 13 years old. Yes.
13. Madeline. What are you thinking right now?
In my heart, I feel like somebody took her. This isn't like her to just pick up and run away, or just not go to school. I don't know what to think.
The friends' parents, you've contacted and went through every single person?
Everyone that we know that she knows, we've contacted them all, reached out to them. The parents have gone out to search and look for her as well.
According to Madeline's best friend's mother, they never received a call from Mr. Disney, Grandma, the aunt, or Jen Soto asking, have you seen Madeline? Think about it. Wouldn't you call one of the friends and say, did she come home with you? Sometimes kids make their own plans and they don't tell us about them. We know it. It happens. Why on earth would you not at least ask her friends? She said, we've called everybody we know. Verified you didn't. Verified you did not. You didn't even call Mr. Disney. You went to your mom's office. You called your sister. Sent an email to the teacher. And then went about your business.
We haven't come up with anything yet.
I've seen a lot of posts on Facebook, Hunters Creek, rants and raves and what have you. Did people say that they were going to conduct some type of like search party or anything?
A lot of people have asked me to volunteer, like if there is one, if they can do one. I have people passing out flyers, going to every store in that vicinity, a gas station, church. I think people were being stopped in the street this morning in front of the school to see if they've seen anything, if they've heard anything. My family they're going all out right now. Yeah.
I know as a mother, a lot is going on in your brain.
So much
to bring her back home. What have the law enforcement told you that you are able to share?
I mean, that they're doing the best they can. They've had detectives come out, interview us. They
Shut the front door. Why is anybody from the school asking you to search? Why aren't you asking them? Why aren't you saying, I need help? There's only so many police. They're not going to stop the entire department to look for one child. It just doesn't work that way. Sorry. Unless you're in a really small community. This is a big community. What are you doing? They asked me if I can help search. Why aren't you asking them? What are you doing sitting around there whacking off Mr. Disney? Saying, oh, they asked me if I could go search. Why aren't you asking them?
took a piece of her clothing for the canine dog to see if they can sniff her out. I'm not sure when that's being done.
Do you have any inkling where she possibly could be? Like if you would say, okay, last time I went to work and came back, she was at James' house or Sabrina's house, and maybe I forgot to check that house, or she played at this park one week and maybe she went back there or something like that.
We've looked everywhere we could have thought, and anywhere she would have been. She would have known to wait for me at the school. But we did check where if she could have walked. My mom's office is close to the school. We checked there. We checked the walking paths that she could have taken. We've checked all over her friend's house.
Well, you didn't. Scratch a lie, find a thief. Two Boston Mom says, because Brooks, again, like all of these other cases, when you know where someone is, you don't look for them. There's some pictures circulating. I can't verify that they are Jen Soto, but she has dyed her hair almost like a royal blue color. Don't know what's going on with the change in appearance, but hey. And as of right now, there are no murder charges, but the press conference said they are still investigating, which tells me it's not just all sewn up. There's more to this than just Mr. Disney did everything on his own validity, all him. Slam dunk done. They said those responsible. Like our last show. The name of the last show was Who Are They? Who are the others? Then you want to go and dye your hair to look like Marge Dam Simpson? How much time do you have on your hands? You didn't have time for a birthday party. You didn't have time for a funeral. You didn't have time to call her best friends and ask where she was. But you got time to get your hair dyed blue?
I think we've checked everywhere I could think of, honestly.
What do you think? Oh gosh, I just had it tip of my tongue. What was she wearing?
She was last seen wearing a green hoodie, black shorts, white Crocs, a black JanSport backpack with gray hibiscus flowers on it.
And you said this is not like her
Not at all.
To run away, an argument, anything like that to provoke her?
She's never done anything like this, no. And we haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome.
What school?
We haven't had any arguments recently to have this outcome. Oh, I think you did. Oh, I think you did. I think your arguments are the reason, Miss Bouncy House, Bouncy Buns. Is the reason you didn't go to the birthday party. The reason Mr. Disney took her to school, and the reason you lied about seeing her.
School?
Hunters Creek Middle School.
Tom, any questions? No. Is there anything that you think our viewers would need to know about the way you're feeling, the way the family's feeling, Madeline?
We're desperate for any answers, anything that you could do to help. I'm here for it. Just please, if you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. I hope you're not hurt. I just hope she's okay.
When
that bouncing around, some people say, is her trying to self-soothe. I don't know. But she's just all bouncing. We'll do whatever we can to try to help. We went down the walking trails. I went to my mom's office. My partner took her to school, but yeah, she stops right there. I couldn't go to her party because I had to work. Would still love to know why she couldn't go to the funeral. But she's got time to get her hair dyed blue. You got time to change your appearance, but you didn't have time for a birthday party? To, in reality, check with her friends or go to her funeral. How about some panic? I want to find my daughter. The first thing I would do is ask the scum bucket that's in the kitchen behind me. And I cannot believe how many people have reached out to me going, she's probably an abused woman. Why are you so judgmental? You can just tell the fear in her face that she doesn't want to do anything wrong in front of Stefan. Shut up. Like one of the comments we had from the last show. If that is the case and she was under some sort of duress that I will never understand at the sake of her daughter, he's in jail. He's in jail now. You got all day, every day to cooperate with the police. She said, I'll do whatever they need. Whatever we can do to help. They need all your help, girlfriend.
When did you notice that she was missing? Because this was at the beginning of the morning.
She got dropped off in the morning. We did not notice until after school pickup at 4 o'clock when I went to go pick her up and she wasn't at school.
So we're going in 24 hours now.
Yeah.
Just about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No word, no text message, no messages anywhere from her. I've looked at all her social medias. I've looked at all her games she could have played with, any app. No weird conversations, nothing strange. Everything was conversations with just normal friends or us.
She knows how to get home by herself, as if, like, let's just say, to take a bus or an Uber or something like that. She would know how to get home alone, correct?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she would know how to get home. Maybe, I mean, if someone, I'm thinking if someone got in the car with her and if she pointed the way, what roads, she probably could figure out how to get. But like, does she know her full address? I don't think she does.
Oh, shut up. I don't think she knows her full address. She might be able to point up the roads and tell people which way to go. But you drop her off a block or so away from school, thinking that she could find her way to school? Make it make sense. Why in the hell would they even think, if she is that easily agitated and that easily confused, doesn't know her ass from a hole in the ground, but you go ahead and you supposedly drop her off a block from school or more for her to navigate her way to school? Nah, that didn't happen. Well, we know for a fact it didn't happen because she was long gone before that drive was made.
Which would give me it just puts in my brain that she always comes home with someone.
She always comes home with me.
There's no need for her to really learn. Okay. And you said no time? I think that was everything. All right. The first question is if I can get your first and last name and spell them both out for me.
Stephen Stearns, STEPHAN STERNS.
All right, so Stephen, you seem very emotional right now. Explain to us.
I dropped her off. Everything looked fine when I drove away. It's the last time we saw her.
What were the conversations that y'all had in the car when you dropped her off?
Not much. She was asleep for most of the way.
She wasn't asleep. She was dead, you freak. She was dead. Her mother did not see her in shorts and an army green hoodie. I don't even think her mom told her good night and how was your party. I don't think any of that happened. When she said, we haven't had any of those type of arguments lately. The hell you didn't. This is all nonsense. It's all fantasy land. Oh, she could get into the car and point where she's going. She already knew she was dead. Asleep for most of the way, my ass. On a Monday morning. Now, you see him trying to act all emotional. He's crying. Nothing looked wrong. Look at him on the ride to the jail. This is from our friend Shay's Safe Place. She recorded it.
How's the temperature feel? Okay. You're welcome. Don't know why they don't do that. You know, I don't think it's. I know. At least give you a blanket. Core temperature was down. Temperature was like a degree or two lower than it should be.
This is sickening. Now, I'm not going to give any heat to the officer for trying to make conversation with him at all. But this is a totally different demeanor than we got from him sitting in the dining room with that freaky cat feeder in the back, crying. He's cool as a cucumber here. Bullshitting about the weather.
Don't know why they don't do that. You know, I don't think it's. I know. At least give you a blanket. Core temperature was down. Temperature was like a degree or two lower than it should be. Wow. Sleeping out bare metal. First one there was the lower toilet paper for nothing else. Waiting for a blanket or pants for 2 days. That sounds rough, man.
Oh God, he was cold. He had to use a toilet paper for a pillow.
Been trying to get rid of it for the past like 2 or 3 days, and
He's complaining about his accommodations, using toilet paper for a pillow. The officer knows this game. This is not the first perp walk he's ever done. He's got that window open. He's just hoping he's going to tell him something. He can go right back to the detective saying, "Yep, this is what we talked about on the way." Totally different demeanor than that Oscar-winning performance he put on in the dining room. If it was a brand new case, I would say he's more convincing than Madeline Soto, but we know way more now.
you feel your body get back to normal temperature?
Oh, apparently he was so cold in jail. Oh, I wonder how cold he had to be to do what he did. For those of you that heard
The knuckles cracking, a script, in my opinion, that they could not stick to. Lie after lie after lie after lie. The first lie was from Madeline Soto, that she saw Madeline that morning. No detail about what they talked about, what she was excited about at school, what she was going to have for lunch, nothing like that. Just saw her, white Crocs, black shorts, and an army green hoodie. That's it. And thank you, Pat K, for the super sticker. You are absolutely amazing. Me love you long time. Thank you so much. Now let's go to the crime scene. Let's look at this. This is from our favorite spray tanner next to News Daddy on News Nation, Vinnie Politan. We're going to take a little eerie walk through. They say the crime scene. I don't believe it is. I believe it's a dumping ground. 100% believe that the crime scene was right there in the house with Jennifer Soto present.
We're beginning with the case involving Madeline Soto. You think about what happened to this young girl. She turns 13 and then she's discarded, tossed, dead on the side of the road in some brush in Central Florida. Yes, it reminds us of another case of another young girl who was also discarded off of the side of the road in some brush. We know how that turned out. That's why we've got a lot of focus on this story, on this case, taking a look at each and every piece.
And I've mentioned it in many other shows. I did one specifically about it. It has not left me yet. I don't believe in coinky dinks in these cases. The dumping ground is 4-minute walk away from Santa's house, who is also in jail for horrible, nasty, depraved things done to children. 4-minute walk from his house.
Of evidence connected to this girl who had just celebrated her 13th birthday. And we think about what a significant day that is, right? You know, I remember when I was, boasting to everyone, I'm a teenager now, right? I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a teenager. And as I sit here tonight, I'm just wondering if that was what Madeline was saying. And was that perhaps the reason that someone took her life? Because now she was maturing. She was becoming more grown up, and maybe was feeling the power and the ability to speak out about what was happening to her.
I definitely agree with what Vinny's saying. There's Vinny's O-face. I have got quite a gift for pausing at the most crazy times on these videos. At 13, she's speaking out. We heard Jen Soto say, we hadn't argued like that lately. I have a feeling your ass had been arguing with her. I guarantee. I think she was speaking out a lot about what was being done to her. And you cannot tell me that when this abuse started, that her mom didn't notice a physical difference in her. She had to have. Madeline had to have been so uncomfortable and hurt. There is no way you wouldn't notice. Said it before, I'm 48 years old. I've had 3 children. Sometimes a good old romp in the bed with DT Driver has me walking funny the next day. Woohoo for me. Imagine being a little girl. And her mom didn't ask any questions or didn't care. That is the question. Didn't care or didn't confront?
Now, Stephen Stearns is the suspect. And the day that his so-called, and I say so-called because I have a hard time saying this, his so-called stepdaughter disappeared, he had a really strange day. Like, what was going on? Really strange day. It's apparently at the dumpster at 7:35 in the morning. What's going on there? Well, we kind of know what's going on there. Then he's driving all around. Like, did he have work? Was he delivering for Uber Eats? What was he doing? Where was he going? Why was he there? Why did he get a flat tire? Where did he go to get this flat tire? What was he doing on that side of town? Because he's not close to where I think he lives.
He was dumping Madeline's body. And it was genius that the law enforcement had that press conference on March 1st, asking the public, if anyone saw this car in this area, let us know. Phone lines light up. Within a few hours, the body of Madeline Soto is found. Other law enforcement needs to kind of pick it up. If you leave crumbs, the birds will get them. If you leave everything up to speculation, they're going to drive you crazy.
With Jen and Madeline. So on the same day that his stepdaughter goes missing, he gets a flat tire, missing child, same day. Does that make any sense to you? Is that like just a really bad day? Oh, you wouldn't believe it. My stepdaughter went missing.
For Mr. Disney, let's look at his day. Madeline's missing. He already knew all about that. Flat tire, and then the accidental factory reset on his phone. Damn the luck. And it's not like he would be hard to spot. We don't really pay attention when people are on the side of the road with a flat tire or whatever. You see some ISIS-looking mofo, you're going to pay attention.
And I got a flat tire. Got a flat tire doing what? Where? When? Why? We're going to talk about all this tonight. All of this tonight. Because this is a big part of this story. I'm going to try to tie it together and see if there is a connection to all of it as we return to the scene. We, Closing Arguments, Court TV, returning to the scene of where Madeline's body was recovered. Important. So let's go back in time. Let's listen to Chief Betty Holland from the Kissimmee Police Department describing information that they knew at the time that this was a missing persons case.
Please share this crime line bulletin on my right of Stephen Stearns. He was last seen driving a silver 2010 Lincoln MKZ. The Florida tag is IYLL82. On Monday, February 26th, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. in the area of State Road 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road, as well as Old Hickory Tree Road and Nolte Road. During this time frame, it is believed that Stearns had a flat tire and might have been seen changing the tire in this area. If anyone saw this vehicle or noticed anything suspicious, we're asking that they call Crime Line.
Okay, so based upon what the chief said, let's take a look at a map so you understand the area that we're talking about.
Again, I believe that was genius for them to put out. Wildman's mom said, yes, Vinny, God busted that tire for Maddie. You're damn right. Sinclair said, why didn't Grandma pick up and drop off Maddie? Why didn't Jen Soto? She was home. Question we need to be asking ourselves is, why did Stefan insist on taking her to school that day? I think we can figure that one out. Britt said, so Jen had to work, right? Where was the rest of the family for her birthday? At the birthday party. Aunt was there. Grandma was there. Cousin was there. Odd, no friends from school were invited. Imagine how that worked. And Mr. Disney was there. He took most of the pictures. Only person missing from the 13th birthday party was Jen Soto.
And what exactly it means. And we begin, of course, with the location of Madeline's remains. And you look at that area, very green, not a lot of development. It's near a body of water. Now, State Road 192, a bit of a main road down there, a main highway. I remember when I lived in the area, I would drive on 192. There you see where 192 goes. Now, let's take a look at Hickory Tree Road. Significant part of this, that's where the body is found, on Hickory Tree Road. And you see Hickory Tree Road kind of loops around and connects to 192 in two different spots. Now, Nolte Road. Where's Nolte Road? Let's take a look at Nolte. Nolte kind of runs east and west, going from more of that St. Cloud area towards the Kissimmee area. And finally, they mentioned Old Hickory Tree Road. So you've got regular Hickory Tree, then you've got Old Hickory Tree Road, which connects 192 and Nolte. And that is significant here as you take a look at the map, those two dots. And that's where police seem to be directing us towards for this flat tire. But is it Old Hickory Tree Road? Is it Hickory Tree Road closer to where Madeline is found? Well, let's do a little investigation. And when I say investigation, I mean let's go to Court TV producer Cody Thomas, joining us live tonight from outside the Kissimmee Police Department, who's heading up this investigation. He has spent all day today down there. So let's start with where you went today.
Speculation only. Our friend Britt said, now I'm lost on her theory. She said, I didn't realize there actually was a party. So where did she get brought after the party? She went back home. What is the motive for murder? No one's been charged, so we don't know who the murderer is. If Stefan's the murderer, what would be his motive? If Jen's the murderer, what would be the motive? Because at this point, we don't know which one is. We know there's 3 people in that condo the night after the party. Madeline, Stefan, and Jen. Confirmed by law enforcement. Stefan is seen at the dumpster roughly at 7:30 the next morning, throwing away her backpack and her laptop. He had a very deceased Madeline in the car with him. That's why he made sure to tell people she was asleep in the car. She wasn't asleep, she was dead. Jen said she saw her alive and well in black shorts and army green hoodie. She was found in jeans. Again, she did not come home from the party and change out of her dress and put on a pair of blue jeans. Now, someone put those blue jeans on her to get her out of the house. I'm wondering at what time of the early morning did he get her to the car? Because you're not going to do that when the sun's coming up. And not to be grim, no way of getting around it. She's about 125 pounds. That's dead weight. Stefan is not what I would call a power lifter. How did he get her into the car himself?
Give us sort of the backstory, where you went, why you were going there.
Well, good evening, Vinny. Of course, we went down Hickory Tree Road where Madeline Soto's...
Okay, we'll get to that in a second. We have Big T backstage. She grabbed the link. Hello, Big T, and what a cute bunny on your avatar. What you got for me, girlfriend?
I have one question, honey. If this was her 13th birthday, what was her other birthdays like? Or did she have a birthday?
I have seen I'm glad you asked. When Jen Soto's Facebook was up and running, she had many pictures of other birthdays. Age 12, the theme was pink. She had the big foil balloons, the 1 and the 2. She had a cake. She had a pink dress. It was like a pink and gray dress. Jen was there. Age 11, sort of the same thing. Silver balloons, a 1 and a 1. Pictures with Jen Soto. Age 10, we have the big 1, the big 0. Pictures with Jen Soto. Age 13, no Jen Soto, but Stefan's there. What do you think about that, Big T? I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, usually these extravagant birthdays are a sign of like making up for a bad deed. That's what it sounds like to me. Now, with her not being present for her 13th birthday is very concerning. Very, very concerning. That no. Did she even make it to her birthday?
Madeline?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Madeline. I mean, yeah, there's pictures of her at her party.
There's pictures of her at the party, but the mother is not there.
Nope, Jen Soto is not there. She said she had to work.
She had to work. And is there evidence that she went to work?
That I couldn't tell you. I don't know.
That was one question. The other question was, did she plan to be at work on that day?
Well, considering she does like hotel reservations for one of the Disney hotels, I can't imagine it being an emergency. We've got to have you come in and make the reservation. It's not like she's a doctor. She's not a damn fireman.
Right.
Have it on and she doesn't have to work.
Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't yeah. That is concerning. Now, I've had to work before, but we've always had it to where we've redirected the birthday. So everybody could be there.
It's a common thing to do. Hell, some people don't even celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. They might do it on Saturday. Not everybody, get together on Christmas. You do it on a day everyone can get together. And we're not talking about a friend from school that couldn't be there. We're talking about
Not one was invited, huh?
Nope, none of the friends were invited. Grandma put the whole party together, but the year before, Jen Soto put the party together. What was the big change in climate for Jen to suddenly not care about her daughter's birthday and just say, well, I had to work. And, Stefan's there. Mr. Disney will send me some pictures. She said she liked her presents. And I said, well, good night. And that's it. That's what she said. Huh.
Now, yeah. Well, usually grandmas pick up to where the parents, can't do things or whatever. But him left with her, I want to talk to grandma. Seriously, if she made that party, I would love to talk to grandma and ask, why were you the one that did the party? What was the reasoning for that? I mean, did you volunteer last year? Did you volunteer,
Everything I've seen from when Jen Soto had her Facebook going, it's always been Jen, up until age 13.
Yeah.
But Grandma rubs me the wrong way when she said that Maddie was scared to sleep alone. Don't tell me that. Do not tell me that. Because Maddie is crawling in the bed with Mr. Disney and her so-called mother. Forget it.
Where did they have the party at?
The grandma's house.
The grandma's house. So why didn't Maddie stay at grandma's and just make it a whole yummy day?
Well, she had school. She had school the next day. They had the party. He brought her back home because she had school the next day. None of it adds up. Jen does not work every single evening. No way. She doesn't. You pick a day when she's not working. All right, let's get back to where she was dumped. Hang on.
Okay.
Body was ultimately found by the Osceola Police Department. And as I was going down that road today, I noticed on either side, there's not really much there. It's pretty flat. I know she was found in a wooded area. And of course, as we kept going down that 3 to 4 mile span of road, we ended up finding the exact place where she was found, signified by a memorial by the community. Let's take a look. So we just turned onto Hickory Road where Madeline Soto's body was found, not to be confused with Old Hickory Road. That's where police and investigators say they did catch Stephen Stearns in that 2010 Lincoln MKZ changing a tire the morning of February 26th when Maddie Soto went missing. But as we look out here on Hickory Road, we see that it's pretty flat. There are some wooded areas to the left, but it's pretty flat, not too hilly. There's some cows out here, some private farmland. It's a little bit residential, not too busy. We've seen 4, 5, maybe 6 cars tops, and we've been on the road maybe about a mile, a little over a mile. And as I'm noticing some of these light posts, there's no sort of security camera type deal going on out here. And again, on either side of the road, it's pretty flat. You know, not many woods except for way back at the tree line, at the wood line off the land away from the road. I don't see much wooded area up towards the asphalt. But that's not to say there isn't some of those areas as we continue on down the road. Now, as we continue on down Hickory Road, we are starting to see a couple more cars. There were 3 that just passed us right there. And actually, as we're coming up down here, I see some cars parked off to the right, or to the left of me, excuse me. And this actually looks like on the right, if you look up to the right of the road, that is it. That's the exact spot where Maddie Soto was found. You can see that memorial. We have some community members out here.
And remember, this is 4-minute walk from, we call him Santa's house, where when Homeland Security approached the home, his son checked out of the planet early. Seems to me he was in a hurry. He didn't even really try to conceal her. And we know, according to court documentation, he was driving around the morning of her being reported missing with a dead Madeline in his car.
When he first said, the reporter, when he first said, this is like cattle, I didn't like that. He's like, but it's flat. It's flat. But you see all the bushes right there on the fence line? That's how it grows until you get out there with the weed eater. But they're not going to do that because the cows will eat it. And I'm like, that is a lot of area, even if it is just an arm's throw away from, where they lived. I'm like,
quite a
you talk
ways
about cattle, because cattle's got to be changed from one paddock to another because they'll eat it up. It'll become mud. So you have to keep changing paddocks. And he might have been driving around for a while because the cows were like, yes, nice spring grass to eat because they're off of hay now.
I think it had something to do with the proximity to Santa's house. It's just too coincidental to me that after they busted in to Mr. Disney's phone and they found all of that nastiness that he accidentally factory reset it, thinking nobody would get. 4 days later, Homeland Security was on Santa's door and his son pew-pewed himself.
Yeah, right. No, I caught that.
Putting some things together. So, and these trees right here off to my right, that is where Maddie Soto's body was found dead by police. Now, we are actually at that site on Hickory Road where Madeline Soto's body was found. And if you follow me, look.
It is so odd looking at the proximity from the road where they found Madeline. It's like he wasn't even really trying to hide her. Let's bring up Avi. She's backstage and see what she has to say. Welcome, Avi.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, how are y'all?
Good morning.
Pretty good, girlfriend. What are you thinking?
So my thought is, during the interview that Jen did, I often wonder if Maddie, if what happened to Maddie happened to her that night, because her mom mentioned that she didn't use her laptop, she didn't use her phone, she went straight to bed. And I just always thought that was really interesting. Like, I don't know why anybody would say that. I mean, she made sure to say that she didn't have any contact with anyone. And I think there's a reason for that.
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
See, where she's adding these little delicate details, she's peppering them in. It's things no one asked. But she
That's right.
trails off when the morning comes up. We know for a fact, because of what law enforcement has investigated and has evidence on, that she could not have been seen that morning in black shorts, a green hoodie, and the white Crocs. No way. Was she taken to Santa's house? Possibly. We do know that he threw her stuff away in the dumpster, confirmed, and then she is dumped in this area
With jeans on.
with jeans on.
I wonder if they put the jeans on her because of maybe the mosquitoes or whatever. And they didn't want, I don't know. I'm thinking they put jeans on her because she would have got eaten up. And
I don't think that they're going to care about mosquitoes on a girl that has been SA'd for years, but that's just me.
well, I was just wondering about is so they can't, I don't know. People do weird things and their mind track could have been in like decomp. You know, they won't be able to tell. So when did they call in that she was missing? Was it when Jen got home from her job?
No, honey, Jen worked the night before.
Yeah.
She supposedly went to the school to pick her up. I do believe that she did venture out to go pick her up. She wasn't at school. She went to her mother's office, which would be Madeline's grandmother. She sent an email to the teacher. She said they filed a police report at 4:45 p.m. That is not true. The first phone call was at 8 o'clock. And the aunt said they've gone back to the school to look for her again. Mom, Jen Soto, should have been at the house calling 911 and telling grandma and the aunt, go look around the school. Maybe I missed something. There's just too many weird things.
How would
Down the
she
stretch
know
of
what
this road,
she would
there's
have
not
missed?
much on either side. I know she was found in a wooded area. It's kind of desolate on the left, a little desolate on the right. You could easily view something from the road if you're passing by. But right here behind me is the memorial site, actually where she was found, right in between those trees. And we actually have some community advocate members out here with us, and they tell us that one of them actually has been in contact with the owner of this land right here behind me. And that day, that morning of February 26th, they say that gate was open. They've talked to this owner of this land. The gate was open, and that owner is mourning because now they're having those thoughts. What if the gate was closed? What could I have done different? But ultimately, again, right over here between these trees is where Madeline Soto was found, here on Hickory Road. Now, just across the street here in this area, this little...
It is so weird, and I really don't want to get too much into it today because my mind's going a mile a minute. It's almost like he wanted her found. It's not like he hid her too well. Avi, what do you think?
Yeah, he definitely didn't. I don't know if he wanted her to be found or if he was just that dumb in thinking that she wouldn't be found over there, But I still will always believe, and I know that there was a tip called in prior to Santa and the popsicle man or whatever. I
Yeah.
still think whenever Stefan turned over his phone, his accidentally on purpose factory reset phone, I still believe that when they got a hold of that information, although there was a tip called in prior, maybe they didn't have enough evidence, but whenever he handed his phone over, that is whenever they busted Santa. That was the tipping point. That was exactly what they needed. And I think that the reason why we're not hearing a whole lot is because I think there's a lot going on in the background, and I think there's a ring that is about to bust wide open. And I'm here for it. I hope they all go down, every single one of them.
I couldn't agree with you more, because you're right. A tip was called in November of 2023. They did not have enough evidence, because hearsay is not evidence for a probable cause. But a few days after Mr. Disney's phone was taken by the police and the accidental on purpose factory reset was restored, it opened up the floodgates, and Homeland Security.
Oh, yeah.
Little divot off of Hickory Road is where a witness online describes where he saw Stephen Stearns kneeling down, changing a tire that morning, February 26th, when Maddie Soto went missing. Now you can see it's just a little gravel divot, a lot of flat land back here, private farmland. Now, police described the area they saw that flat tire situation on Old Hickory Road. There's an Old Hickory Road and a Hickory Road. Hickory Road, again, across the street where Madeline Soto's body was found. So there could be a little confusion as far as what witnesses may or may not have saw between the two, that is Hickory Road and Old Hickory Road. But one thing we do know, again, right across the street and that tree line behind that memorial over the fence is where Madeline.
OMG. Tina King, I never thought of this. Oh my goodness. Tina said maybe Stearns, Mr. Disney, hoped law enforcement would blame it on Santa. That's why he put her in plain sight not too far from his house. Wow, what a great insight.
Yes.
And let's face it, he's dumb as a box of rocks. He didn't know that his phone, after an accidental on purpose factory reset. So he didn't know that much. He's not going to be schooled in DNA on a body. Who knows? Hell, he could have showered her off. I don't know, and put the jeans on her. What an excellent point, because it's not hidden well. I shouldn't say it. She wasn't hidden well. If he took her to Santa's house, he's not going to dump her where he just had her. But I have a good idea that he knows Santa. He knows Santa's son. They were already on to Santa, and that's who they're going to blame it on. What a great point. Way to go, Tina, connecting the dots. That makes more sense to me than anything. Because I have been stuck in my head for I can't tell you how long, going, not that I want any tips on where to hide a body, but this, he wasn't exactly hidden. As they move the cattle around, as they move the cows around, as they go on their own land, they were going to come across her. Hell, it's a wonder someone hadn't already tripped over her. 4 minutes from that Santa's house. Great point, Tina. I agree with you.
Soto's body was found on March 1st. And Vinny, as we stood there for the half hour, maybe 45 minutes, we were there at least 5, 6, 7 people pulled up to that memorial, adding more things, teddy bears, notes from all over the country, paying their respects to Madeline Soto and her family.
So a couple of things jumping out to me tonight, Cody. Number one, it's flat, right? Florida is generally flat, and that area is absolutely flat, right? So you have the wooded area where the body could be secreted, but to get the body there, if you're parked on the side of the road, and you got your trunk open, your door open, whatever, anyone driving by is going to see you. It's the middle of the day.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, where I was standing at, I was looking right across. It wasn't even 30 feet away from it. And if it's broad daylight, there's cars coming by.
Again, Tina, great insight. He said,
Yep.
yeah, middle of the day, he was seen with a flat tire. He dumps her out like he's throwing a pop can out the window. He didn't even try to hide her. He really thought that they were going to go straight to Santa with that. But instead, they restored his phone, busted Mr. Disney, and busted Santa. And I agree with Avi. They're getting ready to open up a big OPED ring.
You would easily be seen. There's no way you would not be seen. Those trees are right there, maybe 10, 12 feet from the road, right behind that fence where the memorial is sitting with all the teddy bears and the windmills and everything like that. So you would easily be seen by a car coming by.
To think, right? So the question becomes this flat tire. Is this flat tire some sort of a ruse? Is there a flat tire? And then at the moment there's a flat tire, could he have allegedly gotten rid of the body because he had a flat tire? Or was the flat tire a reason to park on the side of the road? And in case someone saw him, there'd be a reason for him to be on the side of the road. Either way, it seems like based upon that witness account in that area where you were, that's like right there. It's right there. It's the same. It's basically the same spot across the street.
Right across the street. Again, that's a great observation. Literally right across the street, no more than 20, maybe 30 steps. And to your point, like it could have been a ruse. It could have been an act just to seem as if you were doing something else just to take an alleged dead body and go dump it across on that private land. But until we know more information, that's still up in the air.
Absolutely. So from your observations today, obviously a little bit more traffic because people are coming to pay their respects to Madeline, but how many cars that aren't stopping there are coming by during the time you're there, middle of the day, much like is alleged here that it could have happened in the middle of the day?
Middle of the day, we were out there close to an hour. We probably counted maybe tops 20 cars.
Well, dipshits, because a car drives by doesn't mean they're going to stop on the side of the road and trek around through the grass. Thing is she was not exactly hidden, is what I'm trying to say.
You made your point really, really clear. And he kept saying, and it's just flat. It's just flat.
Yeah.
And then when Tina King came up with her comment, I thought that was already established because of Santa's, you said son, unlived himself. I thought, wow, when did he do that?
Jesse Essex has a question. She said, does Santa or his son go to that church? You know, that's a good question if that's part of the setup. I don't see those two fools going to church. That's just me. But as far as we know, as of today, the church has absolutely nothing to do with it. It was basically Stefan trying to act like he was dropping her off at school. That's it. I think the only reason, just my opinion, that he even pretended like he was dropping her off in front of the church is because he saw other kids out there, thinking that it would be a good way to say she dropped off there. You know, mistaken identity or something. But as far as what law enforcement is telling us, the church has nothing to do with it.
But I think there's a good possibility that they could or would attend a church, because I mean that would be, for these sickos, a good way to find their victim.
I agree. I really agree
I mean,
with
he
that.
already recognized Santa, so he was already trying to attract kids. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me at all.
And what's so weird about Santa and his son, who isn't on this planet anymore, boo-hoo, Their stomping grounds and their grooming grounds were their own neighborhood. In their community Facebook group, they referred to Santa as the popsicle man. Now, if you follow any of these emojis or anything that these peds use between them, we know pizza stands for something, hot dog stands for something, so does popsicle.
15, somewhere between 15 and 20. So it's not a very populated area. There's not much traffic coming through there. And again, it's pretty desolate either way. And that whole span of the road is maybe 3-4 miles long, no street lights. So if it's dark, it's really dark. But again, this was taking place in the broad open daylight, and there were still not many cars coming by.
Right. And if you're there at night, I don't even know how you would find your way around. And an important piece of information, though, that the gate was open. If the gate's not open, there's no way for the body to be hidden near the wood line. It'd have to be right there, much more out in the open. So as you were there, you mentioned cars were stopping, people were stopping. So you bumped into some folks there. What are they saying?
Of course, they're saying the community is mourning this loss. And the people that were there that I saw were actually community advocates fighting for child abuse victims statewide across Florida. But one of them was a mom, and she says that this has completely torn her apart. She understands what Maddie Soto's family is going through dealing with this loss. Let's take a listen to what she had to say.
Keeping the site tidy. The property owners were kind enough to let us keep the memorial honoring Madeline Soto, and for the family and friends to have a place to come and mourn and pray.
Speculation only. I'm going to start with Big T. Why do you think, again, opinion, speculation only, because we don't know anyone's mindset on here. Why did Jen Soto never want to visit the spot where her daughter was dumped?
Well, I would say this. You see all that beautiful pink and white and green and all the love that is being shown to a child that these people don't even know. It's shameful. Why she wouldn't go out there? It's shameful. I would be ashamed to go out there. I would go out there and break down. I would. I wouldn't be able to stand. I'd just sit in the car and just bawl.
Maybe
At the
no love.
love.
I don't know. I need to address this comment so we have the right information. Criminal Med said there's no cause of death yet. Yes, there is. The medical examiner is not going to release it to the public because of her age. They don't want pictures and all that stuff of Madeline spread around. It's going to be preserved for trial.
That's where it should be. That's where it should be.
I agree with that 100%. I know some people get real irritated and they're like, oh, but we deserve to know. We don't. Sorry.
No. Yeah, I agree, Brooks. There is no way that we would want our children that haven't even made it to adult yet, and letting the wolves bite down and chomp and beat your family up, and you really had nothing to do with it. Yeah, I wouldn't want my child's information out there. When I lost my son in birth, I didn't even want to go to the funeral because it hurt so bad. But I did. Oh, wow.
Madeline had no dignity in life, whether that was just because of Stephen or because of Stephen and her mother. I don't know. Give her dignity in death, because all it takes is one damn Zav girl to do a FOIA, and those
Oh,
pictures
geez.
are everywhere. Now, Avi, why do you think, just opinion only, why Jen Soto would not go out to the place where Madeline was found?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because, I lost my mom and my sister, and I don't visit their gravesides very often. And I think some people judge me for that. But it's very, very difficult for me to do. I've
Mm.
done it maybe a couple of times. I do think people handle things differently. So um, it's really hard to answer that question. I agree with Big T in a lot of ways, but also, it could be if she isn't involved or if she didn't know anything, which I still find that hard to believe. Maybe it is too painful for her to go out there,
And just to add to that, AV, don't be shameful that you didn't go out to your mom and your sister's burial sites and give your respects. I've never been to my father's gravesite, never. And he died when I was 13.
And some people go out, every Father's Day, every Mother's Day, every birthday, and I don't see anything wrong with that either. Sometimes,
Yeah.
visiting not the gravesite, that is comforting to people, but sometimes it's the complete opposite. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yes. Oh
To some
yeah, I'd
people,
lose it.
it makes them feel closer to the loved ones they've lost. Some people just can't bear it. They just don't want that, that scab scratched again.
Mhm.
Harvey Homestead, back on them concealing the cause of death and the medical examiner not putting out anything. And remember, they said act of domestic violence because it happened in the home. That's important to remember. Hobby Homestead said, no way. After the way Gannon's images were carelessly handled, I think all children's autopsies should be closed to us. Well, until the jury trial, because of course they're going to have to see it. But as of right now, no, we don't need to see it. So for those gloom and doom, gruesome people who live in like nowhere friggin' Nevada saying they deserve to know, get over yourself. You don't
Not
deserve to.
only that, Brooks, I mean, doesn't the police say you don't want to see this? Remember your loved one the way you see them. Because sometimes these persons are just too mangled to look at. And you don't want to see that. And they're right. The police are right. But there
Mhm.
are some people that can handle it. But when it's your family, somebody close to you, you do not need to see that. Keep that vision of that beautiful person in your mind the way you know them.
I think it's totally different for parents of when their children are victims of, really of anything, car wreck, violent crime, it's closure.
Yeah.
And so they might have, the sheet up to their neck and they see it. I say it, what a horrible thing to say. They see their child,
Well,
they see their loved one. And I have heard many stories about, you know, coroners, I guess what you call them, undertakers, police that have said, no, absolutely not. You are not seeing this child. You're not. It's too damaging.
And remember Madeline. These are gifts that people within the community have brought, as well as people from other parts, pretty much all around the world. People from Ireland, from Texas. A lady contacted me with address because she wanted to send her present for Madeline and pretty much, ensuring that also balloons are not brought on site, anything with strings, because this is a working farm. There's cattle, there's animals that need to be protected.
And of course, Vinny, that woman says that the community is trying to bond together, bonding as they're mourning. But she says that's the only way that this community is ever going to try to get over this terrible situation.
And that is what is so damn heartbreaking. Besides the victim, of course, that's the ultimate right there. But how far out the evil reaches. We spoke about it in the case of Michael Vaughn many times. Kids aren't outside playing anymore. The community doesn't feel safe knowing that those 4 scumbags abducted him. Indy read my mind. She said she was her mom, though. It was her responsibility to protect her, and she failed to do so. I don't give an F about it being too hard for her. She needs to feel all the things. Woo, that's what I'm saying. When I heard she didn't go to the funeral, public or private, when I heard she dyed her hair blue when she didn't have time to go to a birthday party, when I heard she didn't go out to the site where her daughter was dumped by Mr. Disney, confirmed, not rumored, I agree with you 100%, Indy. She needs to feel all the things. Everything that came off that freak's phone happened in her home. Since the time her daughter was 8 years old. It might go back further because they're still investigating. 5 years in your own home. I agree, Indy. She needs to feel all the things. And blue hair isn't going to change you being a shitty person on the inside. Well, guys, this has been a great show, and I'm going to start winding it down. Kept you guys over 2 hours. Want to say thank you so much to our friend Big T. Say thank you so much to our friend Avi for coming up. Tomorrow we're going to try a call-in show, so get your dial-in fingers ready. And as always, and I don't think I'm alone in this, thank you for being the best chat and the best community on these crazy, insane YouTube streets. We're out, Big T. We're out, Avi.
Bye, y'all. Have a good day.
Bye. Hugs, love, and